Good morning, Arizona. This is your Arizona Family on the Go podcast, and I'm Scott Passmore. Of course, on this Wednesday morning, we are talking about the heat again because today marks day 20 of this prolonged heat wave. In fact, we're right in the middle of one of the most intense heat waves ever in Arizona. Most of us are used to high temperatures, obviously, but not for this many days in a row. Back in 2020, the hottest summer on record, the state's climatologist says there were 53 110-plus days. There is some good news. That's a record we likely won't break because of our cool June this year.
If we look at that first early 1900s, on average, there were about 5 days every year where Phoenix had temperatures of 110 degrees or higher. And now we're 5 times that amount.
Two things appear to be driving these trends: climate change and the urban heat island effect due to the rapid growth here in the valley. So let's get over to April with a look at your forecast. And for now, April, it looks like there's no end in sight, huh?
Yeah, you're right. Our streak of record heat shows no sign of letting up. Today will be our 20th day in a row of high temperatures of at least 110 degrees. 5 out of the last 6 days have broken high temperature records, and that looks likely again today with a forecast high of 118 degrees. Temperatures of 118 to 119 are likely again Thursday and Friday, and an excessive heat warning is in effect for the valley through Friday at 8 p.m. A heat advisory continues for Friday evening through Friday evening as well for the high country, and first alert weather days continue through Friday as well. Over the weekend, high pressure shifts and storm chances, which are minimal today, start to increase across the state. For the valley, we'll see just a slight chance of storms Sunday evening with a better chance by next Monday and Tuesday. Temperatures look to be closer to 114 to 115 for Sunday through Tuesday, with overnight lows continuing to break records as well in the low 90s.
April, thank you. This extreme heat increases the risk for heat-related injuries. Fire crews say this year heat-related calls are up 20% already. We rode along with the Phoenix Fire Department to see how they respond to heat-related emergencies. In one case, firefighters put a man in a harness and filled it with ice and cool water to keep his body temperature down. First responders say most of their patients in this heat are the elderly and the homeless who spend the entire day outside.
Typical call that we get is a general illness. Someone calls in because they see somebody just at the bus stop that hasn't moved, and 118 degree days that we've been having, that's not normal.
And signs of heat-related illnesses include muscle cramps, nausea, extreme thirst, and feeling faint. Valley doctors want to remind us to keep taking precautions to stay safe in this heat. Dignity Health, Chandler Regional, and other medical centers are seeing more heat-related ER visits. So if you have to be outside, doctors say you need to be drinking 1 liter of water every hour. And if you're having a tough time cooling down, do seek medical help.
If you try to get out of the heat and you're suffering from some symptoms of heat exhaustion and you do your best to cool down and you're still feeling symptomatic, weak, lightheaded, you stand up and you're feeling like the room's spinning and you're going to pass out, come into the emergency department.
And people between 50 and 65 have the greatest risk for heat-related deaths, followed by the 35 to 49-year-olds. Developing this morning, a person is dead after being hit by a train near 35th Avenue in Grand. Local and federal investigations are underway. The BNSF train stopped around 2 in the morning under the Indian School Bridge, and a conductor reported someone was trapped under the train. Phoenix Police and transportation authorities are investigating what happened. Now to the tragedy hitting a Valley High School during summer break. A 15-year-old at football camp in Show Low drowned while swimming with teammates. He went to Cesar Chavez High School in Phoenix. His teammates and coaches were at Show Low Lake where it happened. His body was found yesterday after an 18-hour search. Players and coaches reportedly came to Show Low Lake after practice for team bonding. Despite the no swimming signs, we're told several students did jump in, and 15-year-old Christopher Hampton disappeared under the water. He was reported missing around 8 Monday night, and first responders were called out to the lake to search for the missing teen. His body was found yesterday by divers.
People send their kids off to go to athletic camps and scout camps or what have you. You just never know when a tragedy like this is going to come upon us.
In a statement from Phoenix Union High School District, a spokesperson said that this tragedy impacts all communities we serve, adding district and campus staff will continue to cooperate fully with the ongoing investigation. A Valley man will spend the rest of his life in prison for a deadly home invasion 5 years ago in Laveen. Police say 30-year-old Benny Brooks and 2 other men broke into a home in a burglary and then tied up the homeowners. Brooks shot one of the homeowners. After a jury convicted Brooks of murder, he received 2 life sentences yesterday.
This is definitely for Arizona, where so much of the fentanyl is flowing into the United States across the border. But also it's a crisis for all of America. Too many Americans are losing loved ones to fentanyl.
State Attorney General Chris Mays met with Vice President Harris and her counterparts from other states yesterday to talk about the fentanyl crisis. Last year, the DEA says more than 50% of all fentanyl seizures were right here in Arizona. Fentanyl is now the leading cause of death for 18 to 42-year-olds. So Mays is working with the feds to try to stop that. She says we need to treat addiction and stop drug smugglers at the border, and she's glad the administration's at least listening to what's working and what's not. Arizona could soon have a new national monument. A group of state lawmakers is outlining a proposal for a new national monument, which would protect 1 million acres of land around the Grand Canyon. Tribal leaders say this is needed to preserve it for future generations.
We'll protect areas of the Grand Canyon region, such as our traditional sweat lodges, ancient trails. Red Butte, our sacred mountain, needs to be protected and preserved for future generations to come.
Tribal leaders say this national monument will help protect native lands from mining and keep their water supply safe for future use. Well, hard to believe, but summer is over for some kids. School back in session for some students right here in the Valley. Today, the first day for several districts: Kyrene Elementary, Tempe Elementary, Tempe Union High School, and Chandler Unified. Few other districts kick off the school year next year, with most in early August. In your Consumer Watch this morning, one thing many people are spending more on right now is rent. It's starting to come down, though, in some places across Arizona, but not everywhere. The National Rent Report from Zumper shows Flagstaff has the fastest growing rent, up more than 20% from this time last year. A one-bedroom in Flagstaff averaging about $1,700. That's the 3rd most expensive city in the state for rent, behind Fountain Hills and Scottsdale. Meanwhile, Tempe is seeing the biggest year-to-year decline. Rent is down 5.8%. The average there, $1,450. Your overall median statewide is more than $1,300. All right, D-backs fans now have more ways to watch games after the team ended their TV contract with Bally Sports. Bally filed for bankruptcy in March, and they determined their partnership in court yesterday morning. For the next few days, fans can watch this games on MLB.com or on the MLB app for free. Starting next Monday, though, you'll have to have one of several paid TV subscriptions, either through cable or satellite. And you can also pay a monthly fee to stream games on MLB TV.
I look at it as opportunity. I mean, first off, we're going to have more households that we can reach. We're going to go from 930,000 that were subscribers to the ability to have nearly 5 million now. You're going to see the same broadcasters, same announcers. It's going to have a similar look and feel, but I think even better.
And the San Diego Padres are in a similar position. They terminated their contract with Bally Sports at the end of May, and since then they say their viewership has increased by nearly 10%. That's a wrap up. Hope you have a great Wednesday.